Well, good morning and welcome back to another video. This morning I thought I would come out, try to capture a little picture of sunrise here at a place I've been to not too long ago. I'm going to take a minute to talk about something I figured out with my Leica, my Panasonic Lumix Leica, 8 to 18 that I should have probably paid attention to in my last video. All right, and I also wanted to talk a little bit about a trip that I just got back from over in Europe, and something that really got my attention. All right, and I've heard it all over, over the years here, really the last, year. It's really been crazy, about how, photography's dead. All right, with AI, photography's dead, and it's just there's no business left. Camera companies are all going to go out of business. It's just everything's a done deal. Well, I want to talk a little bit about that based on what I saw while I was over in Europe here for the last week and a half or so. In the meantime, I'm taking pictures here at sunrise. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'll show you the back of my camera. All right, you can see that I'm shooting here. You can hopefully you can catch a little bit of the pink and stuff in the clouds because the sun's coming up. All right, from over here, the clouds are starting to light up. There, I'll turn it, I'll get up here above where you can maybe see it a little bit better. All right, now you can see that, a little bit of color here in the clouds. Beautiful morning. So nice, in fact, that I finally got the adventure hat out. First time for 2024, and no gloves, which is nice. So it's a little bit warm. It's in the mid 50s this morning. So let's take some pictures. All right, enjoy a little bit of this sunrise, and we're going to talk for a little bit. So thanks for coming along. All right, so I've captured a few images. Here you can take a look again at the back of my camera. A lot of the colors going out of the sky. Sun's coming up. You can see, and if you look out here, you can see the light starting to hit the side of the barn. You can see a little bit of reflection here in the pond. Just a real nice morning. Excuse me for that. All right, so what did I mean, or what are they talking about? Something I learned from my my last video show taken into account. Well, it really stupidity on my part. A lot of times I get in a hurry and I don't slow down enough to pay attention to what's going on, and sometimes it causes you to make mistakes, or at least not recognize that you've made a mistake. And that's what I'm talking about here. So now, what is it? All right, so I basically set up, I got two tripods here, one with my OM5 and my Olympus 12 to 45, and then here is my OM1 Mark II with the 8 to 18. All right, so this is made by Panasonic, all right, Lumix, Leica, all right, this is made by OM Systems. So what did I mess up? Well, if you remember, one of the images I took here of a barn, all right, at the end, I got out my 8 to 18. I was going to try to take a picture of a sun star as the sun was coming up behind the barn. What I didn't realize was, where I thought I was zoomed out all the way, I was actually zoomed all the way to 18. I thought I was at 8, I was at 18. So why is that? Well, that's because these two lenses actually zoom the reverse of each other. All right, so if you get into or micro four thirds photography, and you're going to mix and match zoom lenses that are OM Systems and let's say Panasonic, recognize that the lenses may zoom the opposite of each other. So what do I mean by that? One zooms clockwise, one zooms counterclockwise. Now it's not easy to see here in the 8 to 18, all right, because it's an internal zoom. We're on the 12 to 45, all right, it's not. All right, it's an external zoom, so you can see it extend. So that's kind of how I got caught. I didn't catch it. All right, so as you can see here, hopefully you can see this. All right now I'm sitting here at, right around, what does it look like? I can't even read it because my eyes are so bad, but let's say we're sitting around 15. All right, if I want to go to 18, notice how I turn clockwise to get it to go out. To get it to 8, I have to go counterclockwise. All right, so the lower, or the wider focal length is counterclockwise. All right, and here you can see, all right, We go the opposite way to get fully extended. So what I messed up in the last one is I thought that I was at 8, all right, but I was really, all right, at 18. You see that? So now, come over here, all right, to the 12 to 45 and see if we can see an example of what I'm talking about. So right now, all right, we're sitting here at 12. See here, 12. All right, so now I want it to go out. See how it extends? So turn it to the right, all right, takes me to the wider focal length. Turning left takes me to the longer focal length. Running the other lens, it's the exact opposite. So you got to look out for this. All right, this is something that potentially could trip you up. It did me, okay? It did me. I didn't catch it. You know, I could have had a lot more play with where I was at, and I lost it. I didn't have it. So this is something you want to make sure you don't mess up. You don't want to be like me. So pay attention to that. So if you've got mix and match lenses, they may zoom differently and it could cause you a problem, especially if it is an internal zoom like I have here, all right, that literally tripped me up, all right. So nothing wrong with the image. The image was great, okay. The problem with it is I could have been wider and gotten maybe a little bit more detail, could have gotten a little bit wider shot, could have gotten a little bit more of the sun, maybe a little bit more of the sky. You know, a lot of different things I could have done. I didn't realize it, all right. Totally on me. All right, so now I'm going to take another image here because, again, if you look at the back of my camera, all right, this is pretty nice. Now we're sitting at f18. I'm going to drop us back down to, let's go down to f8. All right, now notice how the sky gets blown out. I love the back of this camera, so it shows you that. All right, so now we're going to pull it back down into exposure. As you can see, I'm plus 0.7, all right, now I'm 0.3. And I've been trying to shoot a little bit overexposed. All right, you can see, you know, how I'm got a little bit of stuff, detail here to the right. All right, so I want to be a little bit to the right because exposing to the right allows me to potentially pull more detail out of the shadows. So that's why I do that. All right, I'm also shooting a high res shot. This shot is at 80 megapixels. All right, what does that look like? You can see here's my histogram. All right, what it looks like. You kind of see a little bit of the cloud detail. You can see the light on the barn. All right. All right, so let's talk a little bit about my my trip. Actually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn everything around. All right, we'll talk a little bit, you know, without me having this you know, camera in my hand, so we're not bouncing around so much, because I have a habit of, you know, being a little bit shaky with my hands, and I know that bothers a few. So I'm going to turn around here and put another one of my, you know, put this on the tripod, and we'll talk a little bit about, you know, my observations while I was over in Europe. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, you know, what I saw in Europe that, you know, I wanted to talk about. All right, so as I said in the intro, all right, you know, we've heard for a while here about how photography's dead, you know, the cell phone's taking over everything, then it was AI, it's taking over everything, and people wouldn't be taking images anymore. Well, you know, I've listened to that, and I've always felt that a segment of the population will always want to take their own images, or always going to want to do things, you know, and I still believe that to be true. But what I witnessed when I was over in Europe really kind of made me rethink a little bit. So I want to throw this out at you. First of all, when we look at it, at least when I look at it, I think of, I got my camera, taking an image of the sun coming up or the sun going down, or taking a portrait of something, or whatever it may be. That's kind of how we've always, at least me, that's how I've always grown up, you know, and what I've been focused on, and how I view photography. Things have changed, all right? It's not exactly the same, all right? The light's still great, so I keep taking an image here and there as I see things, you know, kind of change here, you know, off, you know, to my left. But, so what did I see? I saw everything, all right? I mean, would I say it was any different than any time I've ever been anywhere? Maybe a little, but for the most part, no, the same. I think maybe just the way I perceived it changed as I paid a little bit more attention to what was going on and what I was seeing. So now, what am I talking about? All right, I saw Micro Four Thirds, I saw full frame, all right, I saw those things. I saw compact cameras, all right. I saw people using their phones, all right. But what I witnessed is I really paid attention, all right, to what was happening is people were doing things differently. I saw, young kids trying to do TikTok videos, all right, with their phones, selfie sticks. We saw people with tripods trying to do the same thing with different types of cameras. I even saw a young lady in her 20s taking images with a Leica Q3. All right, I mean, which really, and she was, I'm going to guess she was from China. All right, it just blew me away, because I had never seen one actually out in the field, and here I am, walking around. I see a young lady, carrying around a $6,000 camera, taking images. All right, and it was really nice to see. And then I saw, adults with their cell phones. Some were, TikToking, some were Snapchatting, some were just taking images of whatever they saw. And I saw people with full frame cameras with wide angle lenses, people with zoom lenses. I saw APS-C cameras. I even saw, micro four thirds. I saw several OM5s or the EM5 different versions. I didn't see any Mark II OM1s, but I did see some of the old EM1s and a few others. I mean, I saw a lot of different things. And my point bringing all that up is people were out. And people were using what they had, all right, to enjoy the outdoors, enjoy the environment around them, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the sights, their way. The way that was important to them, whether that was, Snapchatting, whether that was just taking images with their phone, whether that was taking images with whatever camera they had, with whatever lens they had. I mean, it was amazing, and for the first time really in my life, I realized that photography, art per se, is a lot more than just taking a camera, changing out interchangeable lenses, all right, or zooming in, zooming out, trying to play with the light, and capture, the scene. It's how you perceive it and what's important to you and how you want to go about capturing it. All right, so photography's not dead. It's just different. All right, it's different. I saw people using GoPros to take pictures. All right, not just video, take pictures. Then I saw them use it for time lapse. There were so many different things going on. People get different angles. I mean, people that were, like we were in this place called, I think it's Caking Off Gardens, I think is how they pronounce it. And again, my video, when I get done editing my images, you'll get a chance to see it. I mean, 7 million flowers. I mean, it's pretty much, it's overload. All right, I mean, it was just unbelievable, beautiful place. Certainly ranks, in the top 10 most beautiful places I've ever been in my lifetime. I was just blown away by it. But you see people, they would see a statue, so they would try to emulate the statue in the middle of all the flowers, and then and people with their cell phones taking pictures of that, or they've got a nice camera, a full frame camera, taking a shot of it. It was amazing to see. All right, so photography is not dead. It's just different. It's not going to go away. We're just going to continue to use it in different ways and capture the things that are important to us, and that's what I do. All right, and that's what I encourage you to do. Just because I may use micro four thirds and you believe you should be using a Nikon, Z8, good, go ahead. I mean, that's great. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with what I shoot with. There's nothing wrong with what anybody shoots with, even if it's, an iPhone, 6. Matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, I took an image, years ago. I think it was an iPhone 6. It's either 6 or an 8. All right. Another place that we went to, at sunrise, just happened to, the sun happened to be coming up. The sky looked nice, so I grabbed my iPhone and I took a nice big wide panorama of a place called Kinderdijk. I'm gonna put that image in here. Again, it's not a beautiful blow you away type image, but it was interesting. I didn't have anything but my iPhone, and I just went up. The sun was coming up. The light looked great. You know what? I'm gonna snap this image. And I did. As you can see, it's a pano. I mean, but it captures that moment. Something I always look back at, and something I truly appreciate and truly enjoy. And that's what photography is about. All right, get out. Whether you make a video, whether you're shooting a short little Snapchat to send to your kids, or whether you're taking an image like I am here, the sun coming up on a barn, in northern Kentucky. It's that's what photography is. It's how we enjoy it, what we do, how we perceive it, what's important. All right. So any of the images I've taken here that turn out, I'll put them in here at the end so you can see them. Don't want to ramble too long. I have a habit of doing that. All right, I'm working on the video All right, for my last trip to Europe, I tried to get it done here in the next week or so. I got 1,400 images to go through, plus, I don't know, I didn't, probably 50 different video segments that I took. I'm going to try to make it down into a smaller, not 25-minute long, video like I did my last trip. I'll, try to make it simple, give you an idea what it was like and some of the things I was able to capture. Again, I used the OM5 and the 12mm f2. That was it. One camera, one lens, small light kit. Took it with me. Again, what did I think of that? As you'll see in my comments in the video when it's done. All right, it was great. I mean, would I like to had some versatility? Yeah, would have been nice, because I've learned from that I really am a zoom shooter. I like to shoot with zooms. But can I shoot with a fixed lens, one lens that doesn't move? Can I use my feet and move things around, capture some pretty decent images? I think the answer is yes. Again, it's what you want, how you look at things and how you do it. So again, I don't want to ramble. I could ramble all day, but just want to say, remember to like and comment, subscribe. We continue to grow the channel. I'd love to see it pick up some speed, but at the end of the day, I just enjoy getting out and taking images and sharing my opinions, and what I'm doing with you. Hopefully it inspires you to continue to do the same thing. All right, so thanks for coming along, everybody. Appreciate every single one of you. Until I see you again, stay safe.